Okay, it's another new day, and today we are going to do some shelving and get the microwave in, lift the refrigerator up, and try to get the face on our cabinet on. So let me give you a couple of shots of what we're going to do, and then we'll start cutting our wood and try to get this kitchenette pretty much finished. The only thing left, big job, would be the countertop and getting the formica on. So let me give you a shot of what we're going to do and get to moving. Okay, so on the front of our refrigerator, we're going to elevate the refrigerator up about 2 inches off the floor. We'll put a rail across the bottom 2 inches that our face of our cabinet is going to fit on, and then we'll put a shelf on here. We'll also put a shelf on the top of the refrigerator. This is where the microwave will go, and then we'll probably put a few shelves in the long slender cabinet just to shove stuff into, and we'll call that good. So with all that said, let's begin the cutting. Stay tuned. So what we're going to do is to elevate the refrigerator a couple inches off the floor is I'm using some scrap pieces of wood, what was left over, and I'm just going to make a deal to set my plywood on, and it'll get off the floor the height that I need. And mainly it's so I can put my base plate on here and be able to router around the edge nice and pretty like I did on this side. So I just need the space, and raising it up will help keep it off the floor a little bit. And but I'm using the whatever little pieces of wood I had left over and just cutting them to fit, and I'll just staple those on here and put my plywood on top, and that's where the refrigerator is going to sit. So I'll go ahead and staple those on, and then I will cut a shelf for this side also. Alright, moving on. Stay tuned. Okay, so I have my floor in, and I set my refrigerator in here and got the height that I need to put my next shelf across here and leave room for the microwave. So I have me a little cheater stick, so instead of taking a tape measure and going around measuring where I need to get back here and here and here, I cut my stick to the length of the top or the bottom of the shelf. So all I do is set that there, take my pencil, mark a line, mark a line, mark a line, mark a line, and then I can set that on there and draw my little straight edge here, just like so. And that was a lot easier than 3 or 4 measurements, hopefully with a tape measure to get it right. Because when you get into the tight spaces and you're reaching back there and then you're blocking out the light, you can't see the numbers, especially if you're blind as a bat like me and you have to wear glasses. So a cheater stick works great. Mark my line, mark my line, mark my line, mark my line, then take straight edge across here, set that on my lines, and done. Perfect. Marvelous. A couple of lines back here. Now I know it's the same height all the way around, and I'll cut my little battens to support my shelf on and install those. Cut my shelf, put that on, boom, I'm done. So anyway, the cheater stick, and then I can always use this later as another shelf support if I need to. Cool, nothing goes to waste. Alright, I'll show you what it looks like once the shelf's in. Okay, here's where we are so far. So we have the false floor here that the refrigerator is going to sit on, and it's up off the floor about 1.5 inches. And then I've got my battens here for the shelf that's going to go across here, which will support the microwave. So I went ahead and cut my shelf, and we'll slide that in. Like that. And then I left it out on the edge here because when I put my sticks across the front here, which the face of the plywood's going to go on to router out, I want to make sure that that's sticking out and flush with the face. So the plywood's going to be against the face of this, and it'll also be against the face of the shelf. And that's how that's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and probably glue that in place, put a couple of staples there just to hold it until the glue dries, set the microwave in there, and make sure that I've got enough clearance, and put the refrigerator in there and stand back and take a look at what it looks like. So stay tuned. So I stuck the refrigerator in and the microwave in, and I think it's got some nice clearance all the way around, and it's going to work just great. Believe it or not, I bought this refrigerator probably around, man, if it's been like 8 years, I might even be undercutting. It could have been 10 years ago. Bought this at Walmart. They had a stockpile of them. They were selling them for like 25 bucks. So 10 years ago, that was cheap. And so I picked it up, and it's been sitting on my kitchen counter wrapped in the plastic that it came in, with the hopes of one day being able to use it. And now it is the one day. So finally going to put this microwave to use. It's looking pretty good in my little kitchenette. So I've got my false floor for my refrigerator, so the refrigerator's elevated, and I could drop the legs in the front just about 1/8 of an inch or so, and the microwave sits on top on a nice little shelf, and it sits pretty decent. I have just the right amount of clearance in here, so when I put my border stick on here, that's going to close just a little bit of a gap there. And now I can put a shelf over on this side, and then worry about shelving on this side. So finally, it's looking pretty decent. And then I have plenty of air space back here, and I'm thinking about perhaps drilling a couple of nice large holes, and one here on the side, making some duct work that comes out, goes down underneath of the bench seat here, plumb straight down to the bottom, perhaps with a little fan to suck out the exhaust from the microwave and the refrigerator so it doesn't get so hot. And I think that's gonna work pretty well. Anyway, so there we go, the makings of a kitchenette. It's coming right along. Okay, let's get this shelf built. Stay tuned. Okay, so after installing this shelf, and this area is going to get enclosed in, just kind of like that one, so it makes a nice little cubby hole for just a little catch-all. And this here I think I'm going to use for black and gray water for the sink, which will fit above. And now on this side I'm going to make 3 shelves. I determined I'm going to have an opening down here, opening right here, and one above. So I guess 3 openings, 2 shelves. And so that's what I'm working on right now. So I got my sticks in here. I went ahead and drilled my pocket holes, which are going to go ahead and fasten into the back side. And then I'm going to put a screw in this side right here. Get it right there. Now we're coming right along. So I got my shelves in. And all I did is put a couple of battens on the side. Got my shelf here, and I'll probably run a little 1x right across here in the front, just to keep it from sagging a little bit. Do that to both, and then I think I'm ready to start putting the face on. And that'll be good, because then all I have left is the top to do. So we're coming right along, and It's another hot day here in Central Oregon, so I'm not sure if I'm going to stay out here much longer because, whew, I'm melting. I'm melting. Anyway, so that's the progress. We're coming along, getting things in there. All right, stay tuned. Well, here we are. This is where I am going to stop for now. So I got my shelf in for my microwave, had the floor in for the refrigerator, and I put that shelf in over there for probably storage for some water. And then I've got my 2 shelves here to make 3 separate compartments to be able to store, who knows, maybe just a pantry. Yeah, if we're going to go camping, we're going to have some food. So that's where we're at. That's where I'm calling it a day for right now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the trim around all the edges and all the way across on the floor here and up the sides, and we'll get ready to put the face on, and then we'll route out each section just like we did on the closet space. So everything's cleaned up, put away, and ready to call it a day. Alright, so now we are ready to put our face trim on. So we're going to cut our sticks. We got a couple sticks here and some more on the outside of the trailer. We're going to trim it down to about 2 inches and put up against the cabinet face just like so. We're going to have one at the bottom, we'll have one at the top, and then we'll trim to fit on the edges here. On this edge we won't have a trim here. We'll just make sure and route the plywood around this piece because the microwave fits in here and the refrigerator fits here. We don't have too much clearance, and then we can have a 2-inch piece up top here and have clearance. 2 inches on the side and 2 inches on that side, and we can put a 2-inch spacer here in the center just like we did on this side, and then we can put our plywood up there, trim it to fit, and then we can router that bad boy out, and that'll be done with the face of the cabinet. Then the next step would be the top, but I still don't have a sink and stove yet, so I think what we'll do is once we get the face on and routed out, our next step will be to build a set of cabinets in the back. We'll build a set of cabinets above the kitchenette, and we'll also put a set of cabinets in front on top of the dinette. Well, that's the task at hand. We'll take them little bitty chunks at a time with the time that we do have, and we'll get her done. So I've got my table saw and everything set up out here, so we will begin cutting and go ahead and install those sticks, and then see if we can't get a piece of plywood in here and trim that to fit. Okay, stay tuned. Cool, so we have the bottom piece attached. Now we're going to have to do the risers on this thing, and to keep our cabinets as much as we can open so we have enough space. We don't want to put sticks on here and narrow it up so much. We're not going to put some big old sticks on the side. We're just gonna keep it to where it covers just the edge over here. That stick is 1.5 inches, so we're gonna make it about 9 inch and 9/16 on this side, and probably right here, just so that we can keep as much open space as we can. We don't want to close it up so we won't be able to get a frying pan in there. That's what we need to do here. We'll do here. On this side though, we've got plenty of space that we can close it up just a little bit, give it a nice appearance once everything's routed out, and it won't look so thin, but it won't look so bulky, but it should look just right. And so that's what we're doing. Since we're winging it, that's what I plan on doing. And then the top, I'll probably do the same thing, just come down just below this edge right here to conceal the backside. But other than that, I think it's going to come along pretty well. So that is our next task. So let me get these sticks cut, and then we'll get them attached. Coming right along. Stay tuned. What a nice fit. Great. All right. Well, we put a couple of staples in that, hold that in there, and then we can do our pieces that kind of support that top. So let's go ahead and get that done. Nice. Okay, so we've got the bottom rail attached, and now we're getting ready to do the side pieces. So I have the side piece, or the stand-up pieces here for the frame. I've got those sitting there. They're all cut and nice and flush, so we'll get those fastened on. Then we'll do a piece across here and close that off, and then we'll do the part with the shelves and get this side piece on. Then we're ready to put the face of the plywood on and route that out. Then then it'll have some shape, and then we can worry about the cabinets later. So that is what we're going to do. We'll get set up and attach those and get some more wood cut. Stay tuned. Beautiful. Take those off. Now everything's nice and flush. Oh yeah. All right. Now we'll get the stick going across here and get that fastened on, and then this side will be done. Then we'll worry about the shelving part. It's looking good. Stay tuned. Okay, so we have our stick cut. We're going to put this one in place. We'll go ahead and attach it. Ooh, nice fit. Line that up, make sure everything's nice and flushed. Yeah. Boom, just like that. Alright, it's looking good. Let's see here. I might just shim that just a hair at the bottom so it's nice and flush. Yep, fits good. Now all we do is fasten that bad boy, and then we'll do this edge, and then we'll do some cross pieces here, get a cross piece there, and be good to go. All right, moving on. Okay, so we have all of the face boards on, and now we are ready to install the plywood panel on the front. So I got a sheet of plywood, and we'll go ahead and take a few measurements, do a couple of rough cuts, and then get some final dimensions and start fitting that and get it in there. Kind of anxious to have this section done. Thinking about the cabinets now, so it'd be good to get this out of the way and move on to bigger and better things in store. All right. Well, stay tuned. We'll get the plywood in there. Hang tight. Okay, so we have our piece of plywood cut that we're going to put on the face, and I It's a rough cut, so the top is a little bit long, and what I'll do is, once I get it fastened on, then I'll take a router and I'll go ahead and trim around it. So at this stage, what I'm going to do is go ahead and apply some glue top, bottom, and then on the long sections here. We'll staple that on in place, and then we can cut our holes to router out our cabinet spaces and place for our refrigerator and microwave. Nice. That's nice. Okay, well, let me go ahead and get that glued, and we'll get that stapled on, and then we'll begin the nasty job of doing the routering. Stay tuned. I'll give you a shot of what it looks like when it's finished. Perfect. So I've got everything in place. I got my glue spread on there. I got my plywood all stapled down, and I also drilled the holes, pilot holes, so I can insert my router bit and do my routering. So with that said, I went out, bought me a new router. The little router that I had, I bought from Harbor Freight. That lasted for about one project. Then it had a plastic housing on it that when you tighten it down, pretty much like to crumble in your hands. So couldn't take the abuse. So I went out and bought this Bosch, went to my store, Lowe's, and let's see. Oh yeah. Instructions and wrenches, a straight edge plate, and here's the good part. Once the blade is inserted, the distance from the edge to the center is about an inch and just a little over an inch and a half, maybe about an inch and 3/4, which when I put my boards on here, that's about how much room I've left myself, because I knew that I'd have to go around with a router. So let's go ahead and finish unboxing that. Bought a new three-bladed router bit, and let's get to routering, shall we? Stay tuned. Man, you ain't gonna believe this. So I bought that new router, took it out of the box, got it all hooked up, plugged it in, and made one little pass, about 1.5 feet, turned it off, get adjusted, go to turn it back on. Doggone thing won't work at all. I don't know what the problem is. It isn't hot. It isn't the cord. I plugged it in several different outlets. It just will not start again. Dang. It's too late for me to run to the store and back, just trade it out. Dadgummit. Man. Thought maybe it was a switch, but it's not the variable switch. Started up fine. Made a nice little pass. Jeez. You believe that? There was 2 boxes sitting there on the floor, and I moved one out of the way to get the one in the back, thinking that would be the best one. And it happens every time. Man, I bring it home and it either doesn't work or something's broke or missing. I can't believe that. And I like Bosch. Bosch is a good tool. Can't believe right out of the box. Jeez. Well, let me show you what I did. And then I guess, crap, I'll have to finish it up tomorrow. Well, not a way to end the day. Bummer. So I took it out of the box, I set it here, went up, went about right here, and kind of ended it right there, and thought, well, I better get myself situated. I didn't have my ear protection on. So I put my ear protection on, grabbed it, was going to start again, and doggone it, just will not work. I can't believe that. Alright, well, sorry about that. Stay tuned. Okay, update. I took the other router back to Lowe's and traded it in for the last one they had. So, I haven't tested it yet because once I get it going, I don't think I want to turn it off. But I might have to once I start plugging into the holes. We'll see. But anyway, let's give it a shot and get this kitchen done. Man, is that messy. Whew. There's sawdust everywhere. Okay. Well, we'll get that cleaned up and see what it looks like. It worked. Okay. After making a huge mess, man, it must have been a 5-gallon bucket full of sawdust when I finished. We ended up with our kitchenette cabinet. So now it looks just the way I had it pictured. So I got a place for my refrigerator, microwave. I can put probably a frying pan sideways in there, and I've got cubby holes down at the bottom, little pantry, another little spot down at the bottom there for maybe cleaning supplies, and another area over here to contain water for the sink. I still haven't thought that out yet. That's why I don't have a top for it, but I'll be thinking on that. So we got it done. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick the microwave and the refrigerator back in there, just out of the way, and then I think I'm going to start planning on my cabinets for above and along the top of the kitchenette, and also in the front dinette area. And once I figure that out, then we'll cut some wood. We'll get that started and be rolling along. Okay, let me get microwave and refrigerator back in here, give you one more shot of that, and then we'll move on to the next step. So, as always, please like and subscribe and stay tuned. Here it is in all its glory. Da, 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 da. Okay. Starting to look like a trailer now. Alright, folks. Now on to the cabinets. Okay, bye.